Welcome back. In this video, we're going to do something different than a car build or a truck build. I am working on a 2004 camper with a 12-foot slide out that has sagged in the center, and we're going to fix it. Let's see how I'm going to go about doing that. It's my first time doing it. Let's see what happens. All right, so here we are. We're going to get started taking some stuff apart, all this trim. I may not even have to take the cabinets out. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos, which I often do before I get into a job like this that I have never done. We're going to take the trim off, and we're going to see if we can't fix this on the inside without taking the cabinets out, without tearing the roof off. And we'll just replace the seals and hopefully maybe just be able to build a ramp on this top edge to where when this is open that we'll have a ramp that the seal will sit tight against. So I'm just going to start tearing stuff out. Let's see what happens. Well, that was easy. They don't build these things very well at all. I don't know if you've ever watched a video of an RV being built, but if you're interested, search YouTube. It's interesting how quick they put these together. It's an assembly line process, of course, but it's not very awesome. So look right here. Just look how split open that corner is. So I've got sag, but I might be able to rebuild. Once I get in here, I'll show you there's a framework back here. It's plywood. I might be able to remove that, put a post up in here, and get this up to where it needs to be, level or even maybe pitched side to side, and replace that frame piece with a better setup. So we got gap up here too. So we're going to take all this board down, all this side board down, and that's where we're going to start. It sure would be awesome not to have to take cabinets down, the window valances and the blinds, and potentially remove the furniture too. That would all just suck. Probably screws behind this crap too. Yep. Okay, well, this one I can see it, so we will take those out. Maybe not. Oh yeah, we got it. Good. It's actually a decent camper for, I think, what I say it was, an 04. They had an insurance job on the roof, and which I think the roof's completely replaced. I think they either repaired the slide out or the rubber, or may have replaced it. I see a patch up there, a circular patch, so I think maybe they just repaired it. What didn't get done is they didn't replace that seal on the outside. They didn't replace any of the seals. Well, that's what we're gonna do, because we're not having this crap anymore. I mean, temporarily to get them through, I could have put a post in here with a screw jack and screwed that up to keep the water out, but let's just fix it. All right, I'm gonna go get a screw gun, and let's see, those are all square heads, and we'll be back. And we're back. Not a huge fan of these square drives, but it is what it is. I know there's got to be more screws back there, so let's just, yep. All right, it just pops on out. Pin nailed from the back side. Yeah, we'll grind those off, and I'll and nail it from the front side. Look at that, a stainless screw. And yeah, that one's stripped out. So that's going to be fun. May have to get a grinder on that, a Dremel, and just grind a line in it and take it out with a regular screwdriver. Looks like we got some rot back there. Maybe that screw is just spinning. As is that one. I can't even tell what I got here. Here we go. It looks like stainless too. All right, so this thing's been off at one point, pretty sure, because there's different screws in it. So at some point that roof has been replaced, and it does have a ramp on there. We're just going to make it bigger. Yep, I see some water damage. And what I don't see that I don't know that I like or not, they didn't staple that. That makes it easy for me to pull it back though, but I'm pretty sure that should be stapled to help hold its tautness. Hopefully this damage isn't too bad and is repairable from inside. And they use narrow crown staples. I don't believe that's common. I think you're supposed to use a wide crown staple as preferred. So this board, I don't know how thick that's going to be, but that's going to get replaced. And I'm not sure how we're going to do that. If I can, excuse me, the goal might be to make that header all in one piece with the 90 overlapping and gluing, and get the 90s down as far as I can for some stability in that roof system. We'll see how it goes. Yep, you can see we got some little water damage there. I mean, this stuff is just cheap shit. I might even rebuild it. I was a trim carpenter in a former life for about 4.5 years. I've still got a lot of my woodworking tools and dabble in that sometimes, so I might just build them something a little bit nicer to finish this off. Let's just see how deep the damage is though, and how far I got to go before we do that, because I got to get it done before May. Move in is May 1st. I'm sure they want to be in the weekend before. All right, so right here's the seam on that. So this, wow, okay, shit. This over here's been replaced. That's OSB, or maybe that's original and this was replaced. But this is plywood. Plywood is definitely much stronger than OSB. And if I'm doing it, that door would stay open so the lighting would be better. If I'm doing it, that doesn't feel like more than 1/2 inch. I'm gonna glue 2 layers of 1/2 inch, potentially even 5/8 together to give this whole head stability so it's not gonna sag. It's got a lot of sag to it. And I don't want that seam there. If I can get away without a seam there, I'd like to do that. I mean, potentially I could put some metal in there as well. I need to get this screw out of here so I can see what's going on. All right, we'll be back. All right, we got our friend Vice Grips. Let's get this screw out of here. Before I did all this, when I put the slide out, I did level the camper front to back, side to side. I've got a 7-foot jam level, so it was pretty spot on both ways. I will stretch a string across the slide up back on the outside of this wall to check it before I really secure anything down. I'm just going to cut under these staples because I am trying to save on this roof and I don't want it to tear. If you cut under them, you can pull the rubber over. May have to do both sides because it's all doubled up here. Hopefully I'll be able to zoom in on that a little bit in post so I can show you exactly what I'm doing. But basically it's just putting a knife cut through the rubber underneath the staples that are there, giving her a little lift over the top so it pulls through the staple and doesn't rip the rubber. Since I'm trying to reuse it. Some of those staples I can probably pull. It might be easier with my tool. That tool. Then again, it might not be. Yeah, see, they use those narrow crown staples. I don't believe that is the recommended staple. It should be a wide crown staple, which is what I'm probably going to go back with. Even though I have narrow crown staples and a gun, I don't mind buying new tools on occasion. Give me something to do in retirement here in a few years. I just keep building my wood shop, keep building my auto shops, filling them up with tools so I can have stuff to do, because I am not going to be sitting around on my ass when I retire, hopefully. All right, so now we got that exposed. Let's go ahead and get these other two screws out, and then we'll see how many more of these bastards don't come out because it's got water damage and they're rotted in behind it. We will be going back in that with better hardware. Where's the other one? Thought there were two. Maybe just the one? All right, well, maybe just the one for now. I got the other one. All right, well, let's see if any of these son of a guns come out of here. That one's gonna be a pain in the ass. As is that one. Oh, shit. Man, that's pretty gnarly there. That one's not good. That's a spinner. Can we get underneath it? Yeah, part of it. That broke. Look how little of that's left. It's supposed to look like that. Yeah, some of those are just like gone. Look at that. Doesn't even look like a screw. It looks like a mini ring shank nail. Not a huge fan of these square tips. I used to be back in the day, but not anymore. Took the head right off of that one. All right, I gotta figure out, and there's moisture up there. Figure out how I'm gonna get those out of there. Let's see. If I had a hole saw without the center bit in it, I could maybe buzz over those. Or I could use my, whatever that little vibrator cutter tool is I've got, and snakalize around them. Hell, I could probably just pull that whole freaking board out. So after doing this, I may end up bringing the slide back in so I can get up above and peel some of this roof back and see what else I got back here. I can't quite tell, but it looks like it might just be this one layer a ½ inch, and that's to me not good, but there's another, it might be 2 layers a ½ inch. Go ahead and take that side out. That feels like 2 layers a ½ inch. It looks like it. All right, we're gonna stop here for now. All right, we're back in the camper. We're gonna try to take this hole saw without a pilot bit in it and cut those out since the heads are stripped. Let's see if this works. I hope it does. Let's start it in reverse. Get the dig. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah. This is not gonna work, is it? All right, stop recording. Take 2. We're gonna take a cat's paw. If you don't know what that is, it's a cat's paw. It's pulling nails out of the wood and stuff. We're gonna use it on the screws. Yeah, that worked. Just broke the head right off because these things are junk anyway. I guess before I keep going, let me show you why this all failed. If you look here, that's not right. That shouldn't move. This is the header for this slide. What I'm going to do, this is the 2 pieces. It's 2 pieces stacked, piece of foam behind it. I'm tearing all that out. 2 pieces stacked here as well. I'm doing 1 piece. I'm going to go 8 foot this way to this edge. And out of 1 piece, I'm cutting this, and I'm gonna bring this down just shy of 4 feet, whatever this dimension is, less than that. So this will all be 1 solid corner on both sides. It takes more plywood, yes, but it gives you that strength. That shouldn't do that. It's that way on both sides, it's worse on the other, and that's what's caused this sag, in my opinion. I believe this is also ½ inch plywood. That end over there on the side is OSB. I'm not sure which is original. I'm going to guess the OSB might be original, but somebody's been in here. So we're going to fix it, and I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. I may even get a plate if I do it different. If I do it this just with strips, 1 strip will come all the way over, and 1 strip will butt, and this strip will come all the way up. So there'll be at least a lock in there. Possibly even put a piece of metal in it. But it's all going to be glued up. So I think that will fix this issue. Only time will tell. But for now, I got to get all this crap apart and get this supported. Got nice weather today and tomorrow, but tomorrow I can't work on it. I don't have enough time today. It's, you know, I probably got maybe a couple hours of sunlight, but I need to run the slide out. Probably have to get a big tarp to cover everything just in case it does rain. I need to run the slide out halfway, support the floor so I can support the ceiling, and then tear all this shit out, stuff out. So we're just gonna keep going, see how many of these old screws I can get out of here, and maybe tear a piece of board out to see what's behind it. I want to bet this is not even glued. It might be. Who knows? Yeah, no, that's not even glued. Yeah, so whoever did this before was just a hack and absolutely hacked it up. Fixed it for the moment when they had the problem. Didn't give a shit about longevity. That shit drives me nuts. So there are some screws from the back side. You gotta be careful, nails, whatever. I'm hoping there's not a lot of damage to the framing here, but I'm gonna bet the insulation's wet, so I'm probably gonna have to drop this. I don't want to have to take the cabinets out. That's what I'm trying not to do. That's all gonna break. Looks like there's 2 layers of ceiling in there already. Yep. Let's just make it look pretty. Let's not fix it. Not my motto. I mean, at least they overlap the seams on this going that way, but still, hack job. That's bad. That's all still soaking wet. I don't know how it's attached the rest of the way. There's a piece of foam back here. 2 pieces of foam back there. There is a metal rail somehow that holds the roofing membrane in place. It is okay if I mess that foam up because I work for the best die cutter in the world, and that's what we do, is cut foams and adhesives. Thin, flexible goods. I can replace it with better stuff. There's that foam. Get this nasty piece out of here. It is damp, but it doesn't seem to be rotten through. But I'm going to guarantee the insulation is wet. And I'm going to bet all the screws in this piece of metal trim holding the rubber in are shot too. And if I go in there and try to take those out with my right angle drill, they're just going to break off, and I'm not going to be able to get them out easily, if at all. I think I'll just pull all these nails, all these brad nails through, drop these trim pieces. We're gonna put, I think this header I'm gonna build, I believe, out of 3/4 inch instead of 2 1/2 inch pieces, so I'm gonna have to replace these and pull them out anyway. And I may use like something like oak or another hardwood to help give that even more rigidity. across that. And then you can see two layers of sealing, so they just covered shit up and put the cabinets back in. All right. Yeah, the only concern is the insulation. Guarantee it's wet. I suppose I could trim these out up to the cabinets and hopefully get to all of it and pull it out, put new in, and then just put a new lid in it. And in that case, I would probably use a 3/8 plywood for stability versus this crap. You know, and you can see here, they didn't overlap anything. That header just had no support. It needs to be a solid corner. It will be a solid corner. And because this is OSB, I believe this is probably factory. So maybe they didn't do it from the factory, or maybe that was cut. No, that looks like that's been cut. I can see a notch over here. So it looks like the factory probably did overlap the OSB and do it right. And then these clowns, whoever replaced it the last time, did not. All right, well, that's it for now. All right, we're back in the camper. We're gonna start pulling some of this ceiling down a little bit, see what's back there, see how bad that insulation is. Also wanted to show you, this is the sample I got from a company called Trimlock. I've worked with them in the past. They sell all kinds of extrusions. This one I got because it's 2.85 inches of flap. I needed 2.75. That extra 1/8 inch will be good. That sticks up to your camper. This part folds over, so if you had to, you could run some screws in there for extra security. That is a VHB tape from 3M, very high bond. If you don't know what VHB is, if you've ever been to Chicago O'Hare Airport and seen the glass ceiling, that is all held up with VHB. It's been up there for 30 plus years. Stuff is pretty tough stuff. Viscoelasticity. I know them because I work for one of the largest 3M die cut converters in the world. You put that on, and if all your prep's right, that's probably good, but you could put some screws in there if you had to and seal those, and then this folds over and locks, and there's your outside bulb. So 50 feet of this at Trimlock today was $174 roughly. Shipping will get you, because it would probably be fairly heavy. It's about $95 to Indianapolis from, I can't remember where they are, but $95 FedEx ground. I'm going to have it shipped on our account and save some money. But I'm going to go ahead and start taking lights out, pulling some trim pieces off. May get into taking this stuff down, see what I can get. I got a basketball game to go to here in a bit. So let's just get into it. Plus, I'm going to have a cold snack while I'm doing it. Best die cutter in the world. Yeah, insulation is soaked. I figured it would be. Let's get my fan going and get that dried out as much as possible. And then I'll replace the insulation. That's all your slides are made of, 2x2. Yeah, might be 2x4 turned sideways for the first one, but up in there, it's just 2x2. Not the best to walk on. That's OSB. At least that was plywood, but 2 layers of 1/2 inch, maybe even 3/8, but we're going back, I think, 2 layers of 3/4. We're going to stiffen this thing up. Stay tuned for part 2.